Iridium, hope you're doing all right today. Reaction time. So, Cap Outrun. Reacted to one of these guys' songs before, and I actually loved it. It's this band, something a bit different for Frontiers as well. So they're on Frontiers. They're a Swedish rock band, melodic rock AOR with some very progressive elements as well. And they did, like I said, they do something a bit different. So the first song, which was the title track, High on Deception, I loved it. It had Toto feels to me, and Toto sometimes sound really progressive, but it had those Toto feels as in catchy and melodic as well. So absolutely loved High on Deception. I thought it was a great track. The actual album is out on December the 10th, which is obviously called High on Deception. It says here, distinctive record filled with playful, odd time signatures and interesting harmonies, but it never loses its core of strong melodies and an exceptional groove. I definitely agree with that on that first song. If it hasn't got a groove or it hasn't got any catchiness, and it's progressive, I probably won't like it. If it's progressive, it's got to have some harmony there, and they definitely had some harmony and catchy hooks all the way through. So Swedish, obviously. This song's actually called Crazy Enough, and obviously off the album High on Deception, December the 10th, like I just said. So let me run you through the band quickly. Obviously, I mean, I've just pronounced the Saxon names, and obviously they're English, so I got on all right with them. But this is Swedish, so I'm probably going to have problems. So you got Chandler Mogul on lead vocals, Andre Theander on guitars and backing vocals, Linus Abrahamsson on the bass, Johan Ludvig Rask on the drums and percussion, and Andre Egbo on the keyboards. That weren't too bad. That wasn't too bad at all. I'm quite impressed with myself there. So, second single, Crazy Enough. This isn't their first album though. I think they've had one or two albums before this, but this is their debut on Frontiers. So, this is called Crazy Enough. The band is Cap Outrun. Without further ado, let's just get on with it, eh? I mean, I love a lot about it. I mean, it's so clever. I mean, there's probably progressive rock fans out there that think this isn't hardly even progressive. I mean, I know there's some real progressive bands that are just blow your mind with how complicated the music is. These are sort of like bridging the gap, aren't they, between that really progressive music, but they've got those sort of really cool, like I said, and I do relate them mostly, for me, to Toto. I think it might be the vocal as well. He's got a great voice. It just fits that melodic rock, and AOR, a bit like Toto, sort of have got that balance with as well. I mean, the odd time signatures are just, I mean, it's really clever. It's really clever the way that the whole song is basically switching from the odd time signatures all the way through it, but they're keeping a melody as well. I love the chorus, and I mean, that's my favourite bit, the chorus. I think that really has got those Toto vibes for me. I know I keep mentioning that band, but they really remind me of them. I think this is the sort of album, and well, the song and album that'll hook you in the more and more you hear it. And that's the way sort of progressive music should be anyway. It's not going to hit you with like the hooks ain't going to be instant for you. They're going to hook you in slowly the more and more you listen. And I sort of get that vibe with this. And what that is really is something that will probably appeal to me even more, that it sort of takes a few listens. I don't know about you guys, but if something just is so catchy immediately, give it a while, and I'm sort of tapping the skip button because I'm thinking, it's a bit too much, a bit too sugary, a bit too obvious. There's nothing obvious about these guys. They're very clever, very cool musicians, and the hooks and the melodies are sort of, they get you slowly. They really do, and I think it's a real grower. I'm listening to it, knowing that I think I'm going to love it in the future. I'm a bit taken aback at the moment with it. I like it, but there's nothing to hate about it. I like it, but I think it's going to grow and grow and grow. I think it's really going to be one of them bands. I think the other song, High on Deception, for me was a little bit more, it got me a little bit more, the hooks on it, more obviously than this one. But taking nothing away from this song, I do like it as well. I think it's a grower. Even when the second time the chorus came around, I wasn't really sure where the chorus was, but the second time I was. So already it's hooked me a little bit more. Very clever musicians, aren't they? Very clever indeed. Just amazing, really. Let's listen to the rest of this. I'm intrigued. I really am. Let's listen to the rest of this now. Very smooth, isn't it? Almost jazzy. Now, I'm far from a jazz fan. Um, and obviously that was jazz, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not a jazz, I'm not an expert on what's jazz and what's not, but that sounded very jazzy, that very smooth bit, very complicated, very smooth bit in the, before the chorus there. But isn't it weird how it all sort of sticks together with the band? They can just pull anything off. It really seems, and it fits within the song. I love the way they kept repeating that chorus, because I think that chorus, it was just, like I said before, it was hooking me in the second time round. And I like the way they repeated it a couple of times, and it really, like, in the end, began to really stand out. I really, it's a bit weird with this band. It's the sort of stuff probably I shouldn't like that much, but it's got something about it. I think it's the one thing I really admire the musicianship. I mean, it's just amazing. But even with really good musicianship, you've got to have those melodies that hook you in, and you've got to have a good songwriting experience. Yes, it doesn't matter, how brilliant you are on an instrument. The songwriting's got to be there, and I think they've got that. They've really got that, so they can appease those prog lovers for sure, because they're so fucking good at their instruments. But they can also appease those melodic rock AOR fans, where they get you with that hooky chorus. Very clever indeed, very clever band. I'm really looking forward to hearing the album, actually. And like I said, I think this is one that you might need to hear a few times, but, I mean, nothing like it. Nothing like this album or the band. But I mean, some of my favourite albums I've had to listen to more, a few times to get hooked in. I mean, one I can think of in particular, when I was a lot younger, when I first heard it, I didn't really know what to think of it. And I know it was 1986, but was Rage for Order by Queensryche. At first, I was like, what the hell is this? This is a bit weird, especially back in the 80s. And now it's become, I don't know, probably one of my top 5 albums of all time, because it's a grower, and it always becomes interesting. No matter how many times, if I hear it now, I can listen to Rage for Order all the way through, and it just blows my mind now, and it sounds so fresh. And I think these guys I'm not saying they're like Queensryche, far from look Queensryche, but they've got something about them that I think is so fresh and so exciting, and I think they're a real grower to listen to. Anyway, what do you think about this song by Cap Outrun, Crazy Enough? A little bit more progressive, I think, than a High on Deception song, in my opinion, what I can remember. I haven't listened to High on Deception again, because I'm waiting for the album to come out. But I'm impressed with both songs so far. Let me tell what you think of the songs, especially this one, Crazy Enough, in the comments below. I'll see you next time.